Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's great to meet you in sort of in person. This is what we do nowadays for in person, right? And
Exactly.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization and what you're passionate about, and we'll go from there.
Great. Well, I am a professor of economics. I received my PhD in economics and really started out focusing on environmental and natural resource issues, development of public lands, those kind of issues, and the businesses that were generated from that. Um, I'm now at California State University, Long Beach, and I'm the director of the Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which shows on my background, hopefully, here.
Yep.
And I'm also the chair of the board of directors and was one of the founding partners of the Long Beach Accelerator. And the Long Beach Accelerator focuses on tech startups and trying to move those startups to support them as they scale and get them access to the capital necessary to grow. Our objective is that hopefully they will develop their headquarters here in Long Beach and help support the economic development going on here. Long Beach is a great area for these kind of startups. The greater LA ecosystem has lots of support structures, support networks that we help to leverage with these startups. And according to a Boston Consulting Group report, it is the leading tech innovator in the innovations area in the country at this time. So we're excited about that. We're now have admitted our third cohort, so it's relatively new.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. The first cohort has already raised over 5 million to support their growth efforts. And the second cohort has just graduated and they're working on deals as well. We've had several buyout offers this early in the process. So
Fantastic. That's great.
Acquisition offers, yes. We're very excited and are looking to grow that and attract people from around the world to Long Beach, which has a strong healthcare sector, strong aerospace-based launch sector. So there's a lot of opportunities here. Now, as for what I'm passionate about, other than helping these startups and making sure that they get that access to capital and can grow, I really enjoy working with underrepresented entrepreneurs. And by underrepresented, I mean women founders, entrepreneurs of color. Long Beach is one of the most diverse cities in the country, and we see that as a very positive attribute of the area. We have so that's what we really enjoy in working in the Institute at the university, as well as with the Accelerator. Another thing is trying to introduce these entrepreneurs, small businesses, to a decision-making framework that includes a sustainability component. We believe in the basics of the triple bottom line, that they've got to think about their community and think about the environment as they move forward. They should be looking at things in their decision-making perspective from a stakeholder value versus a shareholder value. So, of course, they have to be profitable and remain in business, but if they aren't considering what's happening in the community or to the environment, then they won't be welcome neighbors, and it isn't a good strategy for long-term success. So we're passionate about working with these entrepreneurs and small businesses to encourage them to think more broadly about the impacts of their decision. And then another aspect is trying to integrate a more global perspective to that decision making. With the Port of Long Beach being here, we're well aware of the international role of the supply chain and integration across different cultures. But a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs don't think about it as the impacts or the lessons learned that they could obtain by thinking a little more globally about their decisions. And this is also directly related to climate change impacts and being a coastal city. That's obviously something that business decision makers should be aware of.
Very, very cool. So how did you get into the innovation space? Have you always been interested in innovation, or is this something new?
Yes, I've really come out of, like I said, my research in economics was focused around risk and managing risk in more the environmental and natural resource areas, like harvesting timber or dealing with building a dam and that decision-making process. What are the risks involved? How does it affect the community and the local economy? All of that. So I come at entrepreneurship and small business more from the perspective of local economic development. I was a visiting scholar at Harvard and worked in Central and Eastern Europe on economic development issues through projects there that looked at how do they integrate environmental regulations, natural resource protections into their economic development plans. So it's much more from that perspective that brought me to this. And then while here, a colleague of mine in marketing was the director of the MBA programs. And she and I have done research together. Ingrid Martin, Dr. Ingrid Martin, she's also my spouse, but we'd worked together on resource issues from a marketing psychology perspective, from an economics perspective. And we began to think about her MBA students and the type of training they were receiving. And we thought it would be a great idea to link more of the sustainability issues to what they're doing and that framework, because every day you see in the news shareholders suing Exxon for withholding information about climate science, shareholder revolts and customer revolts. From her perspective, customer boycotts were becoming more common. What was happening in factories in Asia, these type of things. So people that weren't taking into account the community, weren't taking into account the environment, that was putting their decision making at risk. And so she developed the program, an MBA program that is structured around sustainability and disruptive technology. And so we co-developed a class that deals with sustainability in the business organization. And we would begin to teach these concepts in an MBA framework. That led to creating the Institute and trying to work with businesses, small businesses that already existed, and with entrepreneurs that were trying to create their business. And we thought if you can get in at that level, then it becomes integrated into their thought process and decision-making process. So we were very excited to move forward in that, and the university supported that transition. And now, it's a 2-year program in the MBA program with that focus on sustainability and disruptive technology, which are becoming more and more intertwined and connected. So we're now in our 12th cohort on that program. So it's moving forward very, very well. And it's for working professionals. So they take what they learn in class on Saturday and able to apply it on Monday, hopefully.
Well, fantastic. So
Yes.
are you saying that, so the incubator that you've got, is that open to everybody, or is it mostly for the university students?
Yeah, the Institute, our philosophy is that we're open to everybody and we generally don't charge for our programs, right? So we have programs in partnership with the City of Long Beach, programs in partnership with business improvement districts, and with community-based organizations. So we work to bring these skill sets, this training. Like if you want to know more about social media, we do a workshop on that, those type of things, to bring it into the community for existing small businesses and entrepreneurs that are not associated with the university. Plus, we run a lot of competitions and activities on campus that are targeted toward the students, faculty, and staff. So our philosophy basically is that we want the university to be a part of the community, that we don't have these walls where, okay, here's what's done on the university campus, here's what's done in the community, and the two shouldn't talk. We believe that the students and their entrepreneurial activities become stronger through that engagement with the community and those in the community that are trying to start businesses or grow their small business. And we believe that it helps to have students interact with the community businesses because they bring fresh thinking, new ideas. They really bring an energy that you don't typically get if you're just doing a workshop with 20 small businesses that are more focused on their own individual business. So all of that energy, we like to leverage that to make much more productive and creative workshops.
Very cool. Very cool. So can you tell me,
excuse me.
Go ahead.
The Institute and the Accelerator are separate entities. The Accelerator is a nonprofit, standalone nonprofit, and it was created in partnership with the Institute, the City of Long Beach Economic Development Department, and a private equity company, Sunstone Management. And so the three of us came together and created the Accelerator. And our goal is that what's happening at the university, the Accelerator can be an outlet for that. But of the 3 cohorts we've admitted so far, we've had startups from India, from Texas, Michigan, I mean, the East Coast, as well as Long Beach, Los Angeles. So really it draws everywhere. And part of our objective is to get them excited and see the opportunities available by locating their at least US businesses here in Long Beach as their headquarters.
Oh, so very cool. So it sounds as if, so you're already saying there's no geographic limit and you're focusing on sustainability and underrepresented entrepreneurs. Are there any other criteria that you're typically looking at, types of businesses? Are you looking at particular verticals, or is there anything else that helps to filter them in?
Yeah, for the Accelerator, we have identified several verticals. Some obvious strengths being in Long Beach would be aerospace and healthcare, health tech. Also, there's blue tech, the blue economy, given we're a coastal city. Then we have a clean tech focus. We have several of our startups that have worked here, looking at battery technology that have now are also working at the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator. So it's a full partnership around here. We also look at cybersecurity. One of the leading firms in the cybersecurity area is Laserfish. They are headquartered here in Long Beach. So we really, logistics and supply chain with the port and all of that. infrastructure around here is another area we look at. So the Accelerator really did try to focus on new and disruptive technologies that support currently existing verticals in the city. But we also are looking to the future and saying, okay, esports, for example, or e-gaming is a booming area in the entertainment sector as well as the competitive sector. And we have locally here, Thunder Studios, that has an esports arena. And so trying to expand what we're looking at and bringing in startups in this space is another important activity we do. So that's the Accelerator. At the Institute, we primarily focus on these local entrepreneurs, local small businesses, and trying to make sure that they have the skills and the tools necessary for growth.
So it's for the esports thing, you understood a demand, and did you actually reach out for it, or how did you bring them into the fold?
Well, what we do is, for each cohort at the Accelerator, we, maybe get 70 applicants or something like that. And so looking at the diversity of those applicants and saying, oh, okay, this looks like a really exciting business opportunity, and it may be in the esports gaming area. And then we look at the resources we have available, because it's critical that there's a match between the startup and the Accelerator expertise. We have to add value. If not, you're just going to have a very unhappy participant, and that's not good for anybody. Mm-hmm. And so what we did is looking around, we found this sort of underground infrastructure that was already existing. And some of it not so underground, like I said, with Thunder Studios and what they were doing with Twitch and live streaming of games and events already. But it was one of those hidden secrets that you would sort of hear, oh yeah, they're doing something like this. And so we've reached out, and it seems that there is a large network. There is activity in that space. We would be able to find important, relevant mentors for these startups that we would bring in. And then being close, the proximity to LA, if they're looking at studios, looking at that type of infrastructure to develop what they're doing, and the technology with engineering departments, with the universities around here, not just Cal State Long Beach, but within an hour we have Caltech and UCLA and USC, and so UCI. So there are a lot of major universities that have the doctoral students, PhD graduates in this space that can help in the coding, and that plus Long Beach graduates over 1,000 engineers every year. And the majority want to have opportunities here in Long Beach, in the area, for quality of life reasons. And so we thought this is a great area to expand into and to add to our portfolio of verticals, because we could support it with the expertise that is here.
Right. So you are looking at things, and then can you tell me a little bit about the process? Do you have open periods when there's new cohorts coming in, or is there an open call at all times, or no, how do people come into the process?
Yeah, for the Accelerator, it is a cohort-based Accelerator. So initially we have say 3 cohorts a year, and each cohort may be 7 or 8 companies. All right. So they're small cohorts. There's a lot of individual attention they receive. And so we'll have 3 recruitment periods a year. And we start recruiting about 3 months prior to the start. And then we'll have an admissions panel that goes through, and we have about 3 rounds um, of admissions process. So the first round is to determine if there's a good match. And if they, if somebody comes in and says, our cap value is $20 million, then they're not really in the market for an accelerator,
Right.
or they have a too optimistic opinion of their cap value. And so, because we have a fund, we do provide working capital for equity through safe notes. And so the first round is to make sure there's that match. Then we have a second round where each applicant is reviewed in more detail, looking at the vertical, looking at the competitive analysis, looking more detailed at their application and the material they've submitted, their deck. And then those that make it to the third round, we do personal interviews with. And so we will talk to them and get a sense of what their vision is, and does it align with what we can support and our vision. And so we do that 3 times a year to recruit
Excellent.
those cohorts. Yes.
So when you can you tell me a little bit about the types of, like, what can you tell me about a sort of success story that came in, went through the process, and came out the other end, and how it went?
Yes, we have several success stories. One is a sort of in the e-mobility space. It's a business called Evo Electric. They have a lot of traction now in South America and Colombia, and they are basically using battery technology, and they're developing some battery technology themselves. So in the clean tech e-mobility space, their founders came out of like Faraday or different startups out there as well. And they have, when they entered, they had done their friends and family round. And so they had a good start, good traction, some good connections in Colombia. And they were 2 founders and the 3rd advisor. And so their whole team, when they came into the accelerator, was about 4 people. And they've leveraged using some interns through the university and partnerships in South America. And right now, their full-time employees are 14. So just between March of this year and November, they've gone from those 4 employees to 14.
Wow.
And
nice growth.
Yes. And they've generated the revenue to support that. And they are in the middle of a raise. I think the raise is $1.5 million or so. But they're really getting a lot of traction. They will be expanding sort of from south to north. So they're coming, what they've done in Colombia, and they have some traction in Brazil. They're moving up to Mexico City and into California as well. So they've had offers for their business. So it's a real success story. Another one is Park Place, who was a startup managing parking structures, parking lots, and with a technology. And they had 2 buyout offers even before they graduated, just doing pitches and the exposure they got from that. Yes. And
What was so compelling? It sounds so boring, but what was so
yes,
compelling about their technology?
yeah, it just increases the efficiency of managing the parking uh, problem, parking
Yeah,
structures. So if you have multiple sites, it just really was really a game changer for
yeah.
efficiency and cost savings for those owners. And
Yeah, it's interesting because from the outside, it seems like such a boring thing, but
yes,
if you think about it, this kind of meat and potato stuff is really there's huge demand for it, and even
ex-
small changes and small improvements really add up.
exactly. And they've, like I said, in just in the 6 months since they graduated, they've had those buyout offers. Plus, they've um, more than doubled their cap value. So things are, and that's a solid valuation. I mean, it's real because the people are offering it. So it's another great success story. And
Wow.
two of the co-founders were the uh, 40 under 40 to watch and all of that. So they've been getting lots of national recognition for what they're doing as well.
Nice. Nice. So at what stage do you typically uh, pick up an entrepreneur in? I mean, are they
Yeah.
early stage, pre-stage, like what stage are they usually in when they sign up?
Generally, they've demonstrated some traction on their idea so that there is that um, evidence of customer, um, that there is a market out there. So they have that foundation that we can build on. They've gone through friends and family or sunk their own money into it, and um, and we've evaluated that they definitely can scale. That it isn't they're going to make a nice small business. I mean, it's and that they're going to get to a certain size, and that's their growth potential. So what we are looking for are startups that need that extra support to scale, to really take off. And so we focus on startups generally with the cap value in the million to 2 million range. And so we have an average investment in them of about 100,000 for about 6%, 7%. And so through a safe note. And so that some of them may get 150,000 for a little bit more if they're a little more advanced. Others may get 50,000 if they just need that initial push. But overall, that's about the average of 100 for 6% or so.
Right. But and they have to have sort of a product, and they have to have some traction, right?
Right.
You don't talk to companies that have traction but no product yet, right? Or they're in the process of building a product.
Yeah, if they don't have at least a viable MVP, then they're too early for us.
Right.
And that's the people we reach out to at the Institute, trying to help them to get ready for an accelerator, to work with them. And we'll have, through our incubator program, we will be able to work with them and say, okay, if you do X, Y, and Z, and you can reapply in 2 cohorts down the line for the accelerator, you'll be in great shape. So we tried to develop here in Long Beach this whole ecosystem from start to finish, so that you can walk in the door with, I've got this idea, and there's a way to help move it forward. There's programs that will help you advance. And one thing is we're committed to is helping them fulfill their vision, not our vision. So if somebody walks in the door to the Institute and says, here's what I want to do, and their goal is to be a corner grocery store or whatever, we've got programs that will help them become a mom and pop corner grocery store. If they say, I want to grow to a unicorn or whatever, then we can say, here's here's a path to do that. And Long Beach has the infrastructure to move you toward that, because that's what we look for at the Accelerator, are those companies that have that ability to scale and are in a market vertical with that capacity. That it's not something where, yeah, you're going to be able to grow, and then, you know, maybe in 50 years you can franchise your mom and pop grocery store. That's a different model. So our belief is that we look at what their vision is, and we want them to succeed on that vision, as opposed to, okay, you don't have a vision, here's our vision for you. That's never going to work.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so now it's time to think like a futurist. It's the year 2031, 10 years from now. Where do you think you'll be in 10 years? Where do you think the Accelerator and your product will be in 10 years?
Yeah. I think that what we will be doing, what the Accelerator will be doing, is thinking back on these days as what we thought was tech was really pretty nascent. And so, but I think the vision of working with entrepreneurs, creators, these people that have a vision, I think that a little more emphasis may be placed on sort of the social mission around their vision as well. So I think right now there are so many challenges facing the world, and entrepreneurs are motivated by many of these challenges. I mean, we look at like the clean tech businesses we support are intimately aware of climate change and the role fossil fuels are playing, and what that transition will look like away from fossil fuels, and trying to work in that area. But I think as an organization, what we want is the Accelerator being able to service more than 20 companies a year or something like that. What we're really looking is how can we replicate in the growth of the Accelerator, just like any, although it's a nonprofit, but any small business, you know, where can we have greater impact? So the lessons we're learning in Long Beach, maybe we'll have more international relations, international presence in what we're doing, because like I said, Long Beach is a global city through just basically with the port, and we see ourselves as trying to leverage that international presence. You know, our funders are looking for opportunities globally. They're not looking just, okay, what's the best Long Beach currently has to offer. So I think we'll have much more maturity in our associated funding network. We've you know, when we have our demo days, the venture capital, the investors, private equity, angel investors are well represented. But I think that there will be, that will expand significantly over the coming years. And, you know, I think our growth will be based upon this track record of having delivered these businesses like Park Place and Evo Electric and many others. They're working on many social issues. We have one tech company working on trying to address wildfire issues, get more early detection so that less damage occurs, working with public utilities. So I think that the vision of the Accelerator is to have a greater impact, sort of to scale ourselves and not go from helping 20 to helping 100 to sort of that type of growth, but maintain that we know who each of the companies is, and they are getting that individual mentoring. We are sort of cloning the process, I guess.
Very cool. And I
for
mean,
the,
I got to say that your model is great. I mean, I love the criteria that you're using because I haven't heard of anyone else sort of focusing on that specific combination of areas. And it sounds like you're having some great success in that space.
yeah, we've been, I won't say, probably shouldn't say we're surprised, but we were confident that there was a demand there for that. Um, with the pandemic, it's obviously slowed us down a little bit, but it's also, as with um, any shock to the system, there are opportunities within it as well. So when we launched, we had to launch via Zoom as opposed to an in-person accelerator. So developing programming and how to deliver that programming via Zoom was really creating the strength for us to where we could have more of a global presence, as opposed to, okay, you come to Long Beach for 3 months, 4 months, and then are you going to stay or not? We've been able to expose Long Beach strengths to these startups, but they've also been able to put the effort in from various locations around the country and the world. And so we've been excited about that opportunity. We're now in the strategic planning process of, okay, what will we look like post-pandemic? How will we take those lessons and skills we've developed to really create something special going forward? And those, the areas that we're focused on, we thought we would follow a model of building on strength, and it seems to have worked so far. So we're confident going forward. For the Institute, the next 10 years, I think we are at almost our 5th anniversary. Next July will be our 5th anniversary of existence. We are definitely within 10 years looking to have it as a named institute. We are creating an accelerator presence in downtown Long Beach. So we have a lot of activities we're trying to do to make sure that Long Beach's diverse community has diverse programs that recognize that strength and can prepare them for the more advanced training you would get at a Long Beach Accelerator, for example.
Fantastic. This has been great. Thank you so much. Can you, if somebody wants to get in touch with you or join the program or whatever, what's the best way?
The best way is just to send an email, reach out via email, because the campus is still not open, so I'm not in my office as much to get voicemails and all of that.
Yeah.
The old traditional telephone, but our website is the university's website. I don't know if you can put it in the chat or.
That's fine. I can put it in the show notes for everybody to share, so we can share that later. So this has been great. Thank you so much.
My email is just wade.martin@csulb.edu.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll put that in the show notes, and if anybody wants to get in touch with you, then they can do that way. So thanks a lot. This has been very interesting. Like I said, I love your concept, and I think I wish you all the best. It's great.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, sir. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.